Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to talk to the parents that struggle with, hey, was I good enough? Because maybe you've heard you weren't, and you question it, and you look back and think of all the ways you messed up raising your kids. And I want to ask you something. Was your son or daughter enrolled in an extracurricular activity? Not only that, let's just say you worked as well. So you worked a full-time job, and your son or daughter came to you, like my oldest daughter did, and said, Mom, I want to play the violin. And so, of course, you want them to be well-rounded and have a lot of experiences that sometimes you can afford and sometimes you can't, because certain sports are very expensive. And so what do? You work your full-time job, or even if you don't, that's fine. And you have to take your son or daughter to the closest music store so they can be outfitted with their instrument or gear or whatever. And then you have to sign up for lessons, and none of this is free. And if you're strapped for cash, maybe you ask a parent or a grandparent, hey, can you help me out? Because they want to try this, but it's outside of my budget. So sometimes you have to reach, into someone else's piggy bank. And then you have to schedule the lessons, and after work, you have to run your son or daughter to the lesson. They have to hang out for an hour, you come home, etc. And then they have to attend their concerts or sporting events. Sometimes they're not close, so you have to drive an hour or two to get to where they need to be. And all the while, this might not even be something you were particularly interested in. But you go because it puts a smile on the face of your son or daughter, and all of a sudden they try it, and after all of that money and time, they realize it's just not their thing. So what do? You say, okay, is there something else you want to try? And then, of course, my oldest daughter was in t-ball, and we tried that, and that was fun. But that's what we do as parents. So if you think that you were a terrible parent because your son or daughter said so, chances are it wasn't true. And I'm not saying we should regret our decisions, because that's what parents do. Loving parents do. They want their son or daughter to have to create memories and have positive experiences. And sometimes their sports and music talents take them above and beyond anything we could ever imagine. So anyways, I want you to give yourself some grace, give yourself a break, and pat yourself on the back. Why? Because it's not easy. You did it. And I'm sure you haven't heard a thank you for a while. So anyways, that's all I've got, and I will be back.